Hi, this is Jason Fierstein with Phoenix Men's Counseling, and I wanted to spend a couple of minutes with you and talk about money issues because I think that money issues are coming up in a big way, and it may be difficult to just know exactly what's coming up for us or appreciate the degree of the worry or panic. The coronavirus has brought up a whole wide range of issues for people, and I'm sure you're dealing with a lot, be it worry about your job or your kids or your parents or um, just worried about what you're going to find at the grocery store or worried about how you're going to spend 24/7 with your family members at home now that you're all together. One thing that I do think is an issue is money, obviously. And if you are concerned about being furloughed or losing your job, or if you live alone, or if your spouse maybe doesn't work and money and budgeting are issues for you, you might want to consider some of these things in this video. Obviously, there are the practical things to do, like talking with your spouse about money. You and your spouse or significant other may not have ever really addressed this together. You may have just not talked about it, or just taken it for granted, or maybe you both do your own thing. But I think that this is a really good opportunity for you and your spouse to get on the same page about money, especially since you've got all this time on your hands at home, and because money as a survival mechanism is really important right now. With everything going on, you're going to want to know that you can get through X number of months, which is most likely how long this lockdown will keep you from getting out in the world. So what I suggest is doing a monthly money talk, or even a bi-monthly money talk where you and your significant other are talking about money every couple of weeks. So whether that's budgeting, or whether that is getting on the same page about what you're spending, getting on the same page about what you're spending around your children, or what are acceptable expenditures, how much you should be saving, how much is in your emergency account, and are there ways that you can cut expenses. So there's a whole lot that could be discussed, and I think sitting down and prioritizing which of those topics are important for you and your spouse is really important. Um, Again, just simply the sitting down and having the discussion with your significant other may be something very new to you, as I think just having serious conversation with one significant other is difficult in and of itself, let alone around a topic like money. So you obviously want to talk about what you're spending, what your budget is. Try to sketch out reasonable expenses for this time, covering all of your main expenses, like mortgage and food and groceries and healthcare and gas and your utility bills. Really just addressing those things and making sure you do have the money to deal with them. So more of the logistical things, childcare, if you're still doing that, or children's expenses, things like that. So I think getting on the same page, getting practical and logistical with your significant other, doing the budgeting that you need to do, using a software that would help you, either Mint or You Need a Budget is a really good one, and really both just sitting down and going over the same numbers. I think it's important to talk about your retirement fund and how that's doing. For a lot of people, it's really tanked in the last 3 or 4 weeks, and may not go back up for some time. So I think both getting on the same page about that, and making any decisions that you need to. If you need loans, you might want to talk about that and figure out how you'll go about doing that, who will sign for it, how you'll go about finding a lender. Um, Also, insurance, it might be a good time to update your insurance, be it auto or home or life or disability insurance. Talk with your broker and see that you've got the best policies for this time hunkering down. Um, Another deeper dimension of all this is dealing with your money issues, because a lot of people don't even know that they have money issues, but when something like this, a pandemic and a lock-in, creates so much anxiety and terror and fear, and a feeling of powerlessness for people, those money issues from growing up really do come up in a big way. So it's hard to know exactly when they come up or what they are, um, but trust that they can come up right now for a lot of people. For a lot of people, money may have been anxiety inducing, or it may have caused fights for people growing up with their parents, I'm saying. It might have been a subject that you didn't talk about, so therefore in your relationship or marriage you're not talking about it with your significant other. So I think that really just acknowledging that, hey, I might have some money issues coming up, and if I grew up in a situation where there maybe wasn't enough, or there was conflict or fighting, or we didn't talk about it, you may have to really consider challenging some of those ingrained beliefs about what you did as a kid in your family of origin growing up with money, because you really may need to do the opposite now. So considering money beliefs, considering negative beliefs or negative emotions that you have around money that maybe are getting triggered right now, that's really important, because the decisions that you may or may not make right now may be really important decisions, and if they are affected negatively by these unconscious emotions or belief systems that you've gotten from your parents or from growing up, they may not be in you and your family's best interest for you to make those decisions on those faulty things. So anyway, it's just an idea there. I would really consider those things and really try to spend some time and think about them in terms of how you want to move forward, because we may have several months of decision making here, and it may require that you get some help either from your spouse or from your employer or from your parents if they're able and willing to help you financially, or to get a loan. If you're a small business owner, you may want to consider getting a loan, but then what does that mean for you? Do you have a plan to pay back that loan, or can you just use it as an emergency fund? So there are a lot of implications to identifying your money issues, your money beliefs, and the negative emotions that tend to revolve around money. Anyway, those are some practical and then some deeper kind of suggestions and ideas for you when you're discussing money in this very unique and unprecedented time, let's say, with COVID-19. So keep tuning in. I'm going to keep putting these videos out, and I hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it. We'll see you soon. Take care.